Good evening. Today we want to be discussing driver's education, post COVID, what is life like, personal responsibility, and of course, mental health. Those of you who support me, follow me, subscribe, and thinking about subscribing, this is going to be a good reason why you should. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults, and I've been doing this about 23 years. Um, I want to talk about the driver's education process first. And if you want to leave comments or join in, feel free. It's really important that we understand um, driver's education um, is a privilege, not a right. Okay. So I want all of you to understand that. And the state owns our driver's licenses, not us as individuals. Through my time, and many of you who have taken driver's ed, it used to be through the public school, but prices with gasoline, teaching salaries, insurance, cars, it's been taken over by third parties. And this excludes a lot of members of our community. And me, I don't like excluding anyone from our community. I think it's important that we engage and educate as many people as possible. Okay. So by driver's ed, most high schools don't do it anymore because it's just so expensive. Third parties have taken it over. Uh, Sears Driving School, it's official, just naming a few. Um, you need to understand that it is very expensive, anywhere from $350 to $500. And when I first started, there was no segment one, there was no segment two. We just drove kids for 4 hours and then they were good. But the states have since passed new driver's education laws requiring more parental involvement, which I think is awesome because we're losing too many teens, too many young adults. And because of this, we've seen a decrease in young people losing their lives because automotive crashes are the biggest contributors to us losing young people across the board by far. So we need to understand that and do something about it. And we have new laws in place that have reduced that, but we need parents to help. We need the older brother or sister to help because it's 6 hours of driving, 24 hours of class. 3 months, you come back for segment two. You're learning about crash avoidance, defensive driving, alcohol awareness, the gift of life. But we as a community, not just instructors, not just teachers, but all of us need to spend more time with our future drivers. Okay, I'm blessed to teach the next generation. And prior to me getting on this platform, just incredible. And a lot of my support comes from my local community. The reason that I'm growing is because I'm going live more and really trying to connect with all of you who support me, who have been supporting me, who would continue. I'm going to go from driver's ed to post-COVID to personal responsibility and mental health. Pre-COVID, everything shut down. I was doing my second or third class at a high school, and they said, "Hey, everything's shut down." I'm saying, "What?" Everything was shut down. Okay. So I'm here for you, Jackson, and you support me, and therefore I'm gonna support you. I'll help you. We and you can type, and I can respond. Um, and I'm really pleased. Hey, how are you? Segment one. Okay. I do segment two, um, but for a different company now. Okay. Just reach out to me. You have my number. You can text me. Just reach out. Okay. After this is over, but stay on for a few minutes, support, do all these things. Um, Pre-COVID, everything had shut down. And the biggest thing, and my class is remote. So you can take it online with me and I'll take a picture, just send me a text. And then I can send you the schedule. You can do it, everything online, and then boom. So it's a win. I want to talk about online for a second. So prior, I was coming in from school driving Yeah, I got you. That's why I went to remote, and I'm going to talk about this in a second. So, I'm very dedicated. I love driver's ed. I love teaching. So I was leaving school, driving about 35 minutes, trying to get there, rushing, grabbing food, just mentally exhausted. But that's what you do because you love teaching, you love helping people, you love seeing them do well. Kahoot, Quizlets, all these things, Takis, pizzas. They're showing your students love. That's what people do, but it slowly wears you down. You slowly get tired. And if the schools are closed, then driver's ed is closed. Okay. So the public school is good. You got to provide a good product. Um, yes, I will definitely help you. You already know that, Jackson. I got you. Schools provide a good product because if you get a good company in there with good instructors, it can go on forever. You got to have good instructors teaching good content, good curriculum, Cahoots, Quizlets, all of these things. And that's what I'm about. But when COVID happened, they shut down everything. And a lot of drivers ed companies lost millions of dollars. A lot of companies went under because they were living check to check, month to month, 45-day, 90-day cycles. So um, Zoom came out, and we all know about Zoom, and high school shut down, everything shut down. And in fact, my daughter took her senior year online. And a lot of people who weren't used to they lost social human interaction. That's the best way I can say it, right? They lost that social human interaction, and they became an introvert. And I'm an extreme extrovert. I love talking to people. I love interacting. So the company said, "Hey, would you like to do some Zoom classes?" I said, "Yes," but I was teaching a 11 to 1, a 2 to 4, a 4 to 6, a 6 to 8, and a 7 to 9. I was doing a lot of classes, and it brought a lot of income into the family, but it burned me out a little bit. Okay. And then getting back into the car, you talk about feeling claustrophobic, had to have mask on. So it's like this, we had to have a plastic shield. It was very a feeling of being claustrophobic. Okay. And that was scary. And everyone had that mask on. This is prior to them finding out a vaccination. There's a whole another side to that. Some people still aren't vaccinated. I'm not getting no vaccination. They're not putting that DNA stuff in me. That's a whole new situation. I'm going to go to a personal responsibility. We saw a lot of adults, a lot of teens get lost in the cracks. No one was there to help them. Everyone shifted to staying at home. You couldn't find a cam, you couldn't find a webcam. They were overpriced by hundreds of dollars. Okay, so no one could buy these things because companies took advantage of citizens like us. People trying to lift weights, they were jacking up the prices tremendously. Okay, my son's still playing college football. Currently, back then, he was in Ohio. Okay, and we were trying to get him a weightlifting set, but the prices were ridiculous. Okay, then everyone got the big afro and the beard, and everyone got long hair. No one so. And then I'm going to go on to mental health. Um, a few weeks ago, one of my son's friends um, committed suicide, and he was struggling a very long time with a lot of demons. We need to take care of our young people. I'm very serious about this. If you see someone struggling, you help them. You put an arm around them. You hug them. You kiss them on the cheek. You do what you have to do. The young man was struggling a very long time, using and drinking. Um, this has affected my approach too, because we all have lost people during COVID. Okay. Um, and because I'm in education, a lot of kids are 2 years behind in reading, 3 years behind in reading, 4 years behind in reading. And I'm in education. A lot of people don't want to be teachers. Kids are mad and angry, parents are disrespectful, but I love what I do. I have about 10 years left. Driver's ed has been a system. Prior to me getting out of school, playing college football, trying to fit in the NFL, I did been doing driver's ed, been teaching, so they work hand in hand, right? Um, it's provide income. In fact, My girlfriend and my wife said, "Hey, my dad said you need to go ahead and take these classes. It can really, hey, how are you? Hit that like, thank you. You need to take these driver's ed classes." He said, "Driver's ed is a great job in the summer." That's the best advice that someone gave me. If you have a person who's looking out for you and they give you some good advice, take that advice. You need to listen to them because what they're saying can change your life. Okay. And taking you back, my dad was an electrician and he worked at Chrysler. At the time, I really didn't understand, but I should have become a skills tradesman and went to school and played football and been, but I didn't take advantage of that. You can't go back in time and change certain things. You just have to keep moving forward. Um, because of the social media platform that I'm on, and I have a marketing minor, and I really have not used it that much. The social media platform, with my growth on this platform and other platforms, I can do a remote job doing social media, doing online classes. So there's some opportunities here for me. And, I'm just showing you who I really am. I'm very passionate about driving. I'm very passionate about helping anyone, right? And hey, how are you? And I want to help anyone who is trying to get their license, who needs a support system, because we all need someone to help us, to guide us. Okay. Um, a few years ago, I went to Vid Summit in California. I met Mr. Beast. He's about 6'5", 6'6". He said, "Hey, your thumbnails, they're not that good. You got to work on them." So instead of taking it personal, I decided to get better and I decided to learn. And you're going to hear and see more of me. I'm going to be doing podcasts. I invested in some very good equipment. Okay. The Rode podcast mics. I got 4 of them. The Rode Podcaster 2, so I can do audio, I can do video. And I'm very excited about this podcast because I can have all of you guys come on and we can talk. I want to talk about automotive mechanics. What makes a good shop to go to? What if you're in your 19, 20, 21, 22, and you're not sure what to do about driving? I want to try to, yes, I met him, waited in line about 35 minutes, had a big security guard there, showed him my thumbnails. He said, "Hey, your thumbnails suck." And I'm like, "Man, why did you say that?" He said, "They got to show more emotion, keep making things better." And I watch a lot of this content because I want to grow. And as of recently, I do shorts, I do the long form content, but I'm hitting shorts hard. But now I'm doing more real live. I'm going live, and then you get a chance to kind of connect to me more. I'm going to stay in order. So with driver's education, it's very expensive. A lot of people can't afford it. A lot of minorities can't afford it. The government does have some programs, but it excludes a lot of people. I don't like that. If I had a chance to create a government grant, um, you know what? My number one, I love cars. My friends and family, I have a 68 Camaro in the garage. I drag race. It's been sitting about 5 years, just breaking my heart. I love cars. And driver's ed was mentioned to me, and there are 4 classes you need. You have to be over 21, have a good driver's education, have a good driving record. So I took the classes. Little did I know, it changed my life. It helped me get a house. It helped me get my race car. It helped my family, and it's still helping today. I don't know, maybe I have 10 more years, 12 more. Remember, I've been doing this 23 years, but it's all because of you, good students, good people. And I met so many good people along the way. And people want to help. You just have to reach out. Um, Post COVID now, a lot of people who are 17, 18, they don't want to drive. They are not used to interacting with humans, right? Yeah, it is. But you know what? It goes so fast, right? Like February is almost over. It's almost March. And usually December, January is a really slow time for driver's ed. But right around March, April, boom, it takes off. And in summertime, baby, you're going to see me grinding. You're going to hear me grinding. right? You're going to see me when I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed in the morning. You're going to see me when I'm kind of drained in the afternoon. You're going to see me at night when I did 10 hours, 12 hours. It's very rewarding. But mental health, right? Mental health. With the online format, I'm limited to 20 students, and that's a lot. Each kid needs 6 hours, right? I have 6 weeks to get them done. Yeah, I'm still a young pump. I feel like that. You got to get your rest, you know, um, and take care of yourself because you can't make all the money in the world. You've got to make good decisions. And I always ask young people, hey, how you doing in school? What college do you want to go to? Tell me about your mom and dad. So with driving, I'm trying to teach all of you that personal responsibility. That's one of my topics. Listen to your mom and dad. And then I always talk to you, my, hey, your son did great today. Your daughter did great. We parallel park. We merge. Oh my God, wow. So that first time you get in the car, what do your parents do? They go live on Facebook. Oh, my baby. I see that so many times, but that's that personal touch, right? Communicating. Even if a student struggles, I always find something good to say. And a few times when it's done, I just go live. I make a video. Hey, I'm out here. This is what we did today. So you're going to see some shorter videos like that. And that's a little snippet into the day. Not yet. I'm definitely thinking about it. Um, the biggest obstacle is getting a car and then the insurance. But I do want to become an operator, and that's my opportunity. So my daughter said, Dad, you should have did this years ago. And she's right. So I have nothing to lose, everything to gain. If I did it, I would teach 18 and up. So there's some opportunities. I'm going to tell you this, there's more students than driver's ed instructors. There's a shortage of driver's ed instructors. So, I know how much I need. I know the kids I can drive. And because I do online classes Monday through Friday, hey, how you doing? Because I do online classes, I get practice every day being in front of the camera. So, when I shift from teaching, I'm a middle school social studies teacher, and I've done high school too. I want to pick up and maybe do social media, help build a brand. And you learn so much. So you don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to interact with. Let's go back to post COVID. Post COVID, we have a generation of kids that don't have social skills. They don't know how to interact. They think more. My oldest driving student definitely would be in their 30s, right? Definitely in their 30s. Hey, how are you doing? I'm glad to have you here. If this is giving you value, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I do YouTube shorts. I do long form content. I do in-car content. And then hopefully in a week or so, I'm going to do podcasts. I'm going to have people come on. I want some of you to come on, and we'll figure it out. It could probably be on Spotify. I'm not sure about the hosting platform yet. Because I've been on social media, I'm good with titles. I'm good with thumbnails. But I want to hear from you. I have some neighbors who are ambulance drivers. I have some neighbors who are truck drivers, and I want to hear them. I have friends who own automobile repair shops. I want you to know how to get your vehicle properly serviced, how not to get taken advantage of. I'm just going on that's their personal responsibility. With the personal responsibility, you got to learn to get your engine taken care of. Like I have a truck outside, SRT Jeep. It was in the shop for 3.5 months. The transfer case, something in there broke. There was a shortage on parts. We had to give the guy a $2,000 deposit. That's real money. And I had to be very patient. How do you have time to make so many videos in a short period of time? I do a lot of batch shooting. I make anywhere from 15 to 20 videos at one time. I have some from a GoPro. I have almost 1 terabyte of content. So I do batch shooting. I had one of my students who was successful on YouTube. She made a series of custom thumbnails for me. So I have about 100 thumbnails. I'm learning how to write better titles. I enjoy interacting with people. My neighbors have helped me. So when we do the podcast, I already had equipment upstairs, right? 4 microphones, 2 came a couple days ago from Amazon, 4 microphones, a Rode Podcaster 2. It's a little bit big, but I'm just trying to pick the right um, hosting service, probably Spotify, and then I'll put it on YouTube. And it's going to be really connecting. You know, my brand is driving with the miles. I have used Chat GTP. I've used it a few times, got some pretty good titles. It's very interesting. I'm a consumer of YouTube and all social media. I watch trends, what's going on. I'm a gamer at heart. So I'm going to keep going. You just pop those questions in. Yes, I do use Chat GTP. The driver's education is an opportunity to help people. And yes, it is time consuming. Um, I took off today. We had a funeral to go to, so I went to that. I do drive tomorrow. And then Monday, I'm going to go see my daughter in college, spend some time with her. Uh, so, driver's education will open opportunities for you to get a job. Uh, I have been to NYC. Yes, yes, I have. A beautiful place, huge. We had some training uh, about 8 or 10 years ago. Been there before. Um, so with driver's education, and keep popping those questions in, through that process, you're going to have to get a job. You're going to have to get gasoline. You're going to have to uh, driving home. I saw a car have a flat tire, right? And I'm like, wow, that car could have lost control and hit me. It was in the left lane, the passing lane, and that tire went pop. Sound like a gun going off. And the person was trying to hold control of the car. They were okay. That's happened to me a couple of times. I got lost. I was trying to get home from Wisconsin. I ended up in West Virginia, and I had a flat tire, a blowout. So I was lost, and I had a blowout, but I was able to get home. But those stories will teach you that you got to rely on yourself. You got to know how to change a tire. You got to know how to have the right gloves on. You got to carry jumper cables with you. So you're going to see some more content on that. Post COVID, COVID is still out here. I'm in a school system, and we have to wear masks because there are breakouts of COVID. I've had my COVID shot. I've had my booster shot. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Hey, how are you? So I've had my COVID shot because I'm in education. If I chose not to get that, I would have to test every week. And we've had exposures and outbreaks. So, but what that has done, the school systems that are really organized, they just roll out the computers and teachers go online and boom. So that made me a better person to do social media. That made me a better person to feel more comfortable on the camera. And that's an opportunity. All of you, 15, 20, 25, get in front of the camera, make your content, do what you're passionate about. I'm passionate about driver's education. I'm still finding my way. I'm still finding different topics to talk about, but it's all tied back to driving and cars and maintenance. And there's so many good people out here who want to help. And me growing up, in Detroit, West Side, um, I was fortunate enough to hang out with guys who loved cars. A lot of the guys, your dad's age, they have the big block 396, the big block 454, and they have those beautiful Camaros and Palas and Corvettes. So those are the guys that I grew up with, really having a great appreciation for cars, right? And then I'm blessed. I wish I could show you guys. I got that 1968 RS Camaros from Texas. I might do a little content with that, but my main focus is driver's education. So I'm going down my list. Post COVID, people who have weak immune systems, they're very susceptible to colds and flus. And when people sneeze, you're like, oh, COVID, don't sneeze on me. So, you got to take care of yourself. It's brought heightened awareness to uh, your health, personal responsibility. You got to take care of yourself more, right? There's some earlier videos of me. If you look through, I think I have over 2.6 million views on this channel, and probably 12 1,253 videos, a mixture of YouTube shorts, 3 minute, 5 minute, 7 minute content. When I first got on, I was doing 5 minute blocks, 10 minute blocks. Um, yeah, I'm going to definitely try the Chat GTP to do some titles. Um, there are a couple of other good content creators that I look at them, and I try to find titles that are really connecting, learn how to drive, mental health. This is really important. So these things or continue. Personal responsibility, you need to find a shop that can work on your car. If you don't, if your mom and dad aren't mechanically inclined, you need to find a neighbor who could help you. A flat tire in the morning. If you don't know how to do that, you're like, I don't know how to change your tire. You're probably going to look at a video, right? I don't. Does the car have a jack? What is a jack? You got to buy some hand tools. My dad had hand tools. He was an electrician. His stuff was in the garage. And I learned by watching him work on cars. And then I had friends. I was in middle school and high school, and my friends were in their 20s and 30s. They would drag race at the track, not on the street, right? So that was yes, definitely. That was the TikTok platform is also incredible. Um, that gave me the inspiration. Okay. And then, when I had scholarship offers, I went to several schools that had a decent automotive program, but it wasn't that good back then. So I always watch automotive stuff, car stuff. Um, and then what I'm thinking about is perhaps a Tesla for driver's education because of the safety factor. But the biggest issue is the battery. You buy a used Tesla, 3 years, 2 years, you're going to need a new battery, and that's $14,000. And I don't know enough about the platform yet. Um, Mental health, you've got to rest. If you feel run down, you've got to rest and take care of yourself mentally. Eat better, rest better. And then when you guys see me this summer, and I'm going to try to come on every single day just to give you a perspective of where I am. Tomorrow I drive from 9 to 3. Um, Working on students parallel parking, right turns, left turns, merging on the freeway, making left turns. It's all a process. Okay. And where are you guys and ladies? How old are you? Are you on segment one? Do you all have your license? Let me know. If you're here, tell me. um, Going back up to driver's ed has been really good to me. Every 2 years we have to recertify, so at the end of this year I have to, this August, before August, I have to recertify. I have to take another professional development class, get a physical. So every 2 years, we have to take a physical. And we take a professional development class. All is good. You send your fee in, you're good for 2 more years. So it's a good opportunity. And most instructors, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. These guys and ladies are teachers, bus drivers, retired police officers, um, a lot of people in the transportation industry, okay, are instructors. And teachers make really good instructors because we love working with people. And we understand that everyone is a little bit different. You got to have your kid gloves on. When I first started driver's ed, my boss said that have your kid gloves on. What does that mean? Don't scream, don't yell, have a sense of humor. Tell them instructions early. Don't judge people, teach them. And that gave me a really good foundation. And even now, because of, post COVID, there are a lot of students who are homeschooled, and I'm not against homeschool students, right? There are a lot of students who are very fragile emotionally and mentally. So if you go at them too hard, they're just going to fold up like a little box. And occasionally, every 2 or 3 years, you have one or two kids who are just not mentally ready for driver's education. And that's serious. The personal responsibility, once you get through segment one and segment two, you got to find a job. Any of you, you put gas in your car, get clothes, you got to have insurance. And if you're from 15 to 24 years old, you're going to pay the highest insurance rates because your group has a lot of accidents and you drive more miles than people who are in their 30s and 40s and 50s. So your rates are high unless you live out in the suburban area, you live on the urban fringe, um, you live in a rural area, your insurance will be more because I've talked to insurance agents before, and there are a couple of insurance agents who might be willing to come on the show and talk so we could build that synergy. I just have to talk to them. I've talked to my insurance agent friends before, and they've given me literature that I've talked about in class. The biggest thing is your age. Do you watch any of the? You know what? There are a few other ones. There's just one guy, DIY guy. I don't think he's a certified instructor, but he has like almost 500K subscribers. He does tutorials in the neighborhood, DIY. I don't believe he's an instructor. There's another guy who was on the TikTok platform and on here, million. Um, he's got 1 million followers and almost 560,000. He's in the UK. I'm in the United States. They drive on the left. We drive on the right. They drive manuals, which I know how to drive. We drive automatics. So I've tried to reach out to him. There's a couple of guys up in Toronto, but I think it brings more credibility when you're an actual instructor. And I'm a state certified instructor. I have a license number up at the state of Michigan, right? So those things do add legitimacy to you and who you are. And as you grow and reach more people, people will ask for help, people will ask for support, people will ask to uh, guidance. And every instructor is a little bit different. Every school is different. There's some great schools across the United States. I believe there's some schools, maybe in Florida, they have Teslas. And I was thinking, wow, man, wouldn't that be great? I passed mine. I passed one time before a license expired. I felt hit. Yeah. Um, you know, if you haven't driven for a certain number of years, you ever watch a smart? Yes, yes. I watched that too. I'm a consumer of all things people talking about driving. Um, it's either, from what I've seen, it's either in Canada or the UK. I have not seen, maybe you guys know, but there's nothing wrong with Canada or the UK. Teaching is teaching, learning is learning, and we all can benefit from it. Do any of you know how to drive a stick shift? Do you know how to drive a manual? Just put yes in the chat if you do. I'm going through my list. With COVID, you've got to take care of yourself. You have to get rest. A cough or an ache, I go to the doctor as much as I can. I'm out of my routine a little bit, but I need to get back into that routine because no one else will take care of you except you. Not your mom, not your dad, not your boyfriend, not your girlfriend. You have to go. Yes, Big Mac Sam is another one. I collaborate with one with Smart. I'm gonna take a picture of that. I'm gonna have to call them because what I want to do, I want to collaborate with some other, taking a picture, with some other people to really build that network. And that's what it's all about. That's what I don't see. There's so many good instructors, male, female. Let's all get together and let's help the common good. Let's help people around the world, right? And that's what I want, that collaboration. Personal responsibility, try to bring good content out, try to help people as best as you can. I would help anyone. Those of you who know me, I will help you. I've been like 3 driving instructors. Still don't have my Rain. Um, maybe email me. My email is there, and my email is there. Reach out. We'll figure it out. I wish there was a universal certification so you could go anywhere in the United States, but obviously it's from state to state. Um, so it's really hard. Yeah, okay, I understand. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Definitely sorry. Um, you know, because there's a shortage of instructors, and that's good for instructors like me because you can name your price, but the workload is crazy, right? I was driving home the other day, saw a sign in window, drivers, instructors in need it, you know. But if you have a good system of teaching content, teaching driver's ed and driving, you stay with it. And there are good companies out here. Mental health. Let's go back to that mental health. Your parents are getting older. Your brothers, sisters are getting older. You've got to get your license. You've got to show them, hey, I'm independent. I'm responsible. I asked you to clean the house. Is everything clean? I asked you to, clean up the dog poop, whatever. You didn't do that. I asked you to do these things, but yet your hand is out for money. Mm-mm. You got to have that personal responsibility. And once you show your parents that, they're going to help you get a car. They'll help you become successful. College isn't for everyone. Maybe community college, maybe going into a skills trade, a plumber, a carpenter, you know, welder. There is a demand for those. When you go into intersection left turns, a good reference point, you want to go up into the middle of the intersection. Don't go over, don't go too far under let's pretend this is the traffic light. If you go too far under, you can't see the light. So I like my students to go a third of the way in. You look left, you look right, you're watching oncoming traffic going by. Once it's clear, you turn hand over hand into the nearest lane by the double yellow. But what if I have to get all the way over to the right? Once you make your turn in the nearest lane, then you turn in your blinker, you accelerate and get over. Left turns by far are the most dangerous because you're turning in front of oncoming traffic. And the next thing that I see is merging on the expressway. Students go too slow on the ramp. If you go too slow on the ramp, we're going to get run over. And that is really important that you build up good speed. Mental health, a lot of parents are overscheduling all of you. You have basketball, you got football. They can only drive in the morning. Well, I'm not driving until the afternoon. Do you have any other times available? So I set my schedule up for 6 weeks at a time. That's a big commitment of time, right? I want to have a life, play video games, make content, see my wife, see my daughter, maybe go out to the drag strip, relax. I got to balance my time. And instructors, you plan your life around driver's ed, you plan your life around your vacation. So there's a big commitment of time, and it's really about organization, setting up a calendar, setting up with the public school, or if you're an independent businessman and businesswoman, you offer classes online, and then you meet at a location, and then you drive your students. So there's a lot involved. But what I do see is people waiting to 18, 19, and they go to Secretary of State, that they get their TIP, that's your temporary instruction permit. Then you drive with someone for 30 days, and if you feel you're good, then you go take your road test, okay? So I had a neighbor, he did that. He came over to ask me, we got the vehicle, and we drove around, parallel parking, right turns, left turns, reverse into a driveway. He passed, and that was very satisfying. Had another young lady who was 35. She needed a few lessons. She had lost her eyesight. She had a couple of surgeries, got it back. My instructor says, I'm good, driver, and I still feel like his foot's on the brake at certain times. Well, I'll tell you a story. Had a young lady parking, pulling into a stall spot. She thought she was hitting the brakes. She hit the gas. We hit the wall. My boss had a few choice words for me. And I said, you can't be saying that. There are rules and laws against saying this to your employees. So you want to cover the break. Good instructors will allow you freedom to make mistakes. They don't put you in danger. A good instructor is kind, sensitive, a good sense of humor. They tell you things early. When you get into the car, if this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. When I get my students in the car, I tell them, this is your time. It's not your mom's. It's not your dad. It's not your sister. It's you. And I think around that third lesson, you get a chance to know them and a chance to see them grow. And then I'm saying, hey, you got to get a job. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. Or yeah, I do have a job, but I had to stop it because I'm taking driver's ed now. And I said, talk to your boss. They'll freeze your schedule, right? And you hear so many warm, thoughtful stories. What if the driver's instructor shadows? During the exam, it depends. It's called covering the brake. Let's pretend this is the brake. They have their foot near the brake just in case, because I had students panic and hit the gas, and it really scares you, right? Literally, you're like, oh my God, I just died. And if you're not an instructor, you don't know. If you have not been in the back of a driver's ed car when a student accidentally misses the brake and hits the gas. It's like, oh my God, what happened? We almost died. And I've had my students say, I can't drive with them anymore. I don't want to drive with them anymore. So I try to keep it consistent. I try to mix up different combinations of drivers, and keep it fun. So I'm going to go through the four driver's education. It is um, it's a privilege, not a right. So if you get a chance to get enrolled in a driver's education program or take private lessons, you know, get a chance to know your instructor. I'm very social. I talk to my students. I want them to be successful. A driver's education is very expensive, $300, $400, $500. The lessons are anywhere from $75 up to $125. It might be better to get a package, 3 lessons, 5 lessons for a reduced price. Post COVID, there are a lot of instructors who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s. They may be having the mask on. You need to go ahead and give them support. Um, okay, take a look at them. Take a look at them. Um, Reach out to me, email me. We can do a live session and get all of you in and interact. And that's where I'm going with the next level. So, yeah, I do mock and I do real driving test preparation, because I'm a state certified instructor. Um, Personal responsibility. I want to thank all of you for just taking your time to hear me and to think about yourself. Okay, I need to get a job, or mom, dad, thank you. Yes, you do see some real life situations, and that's real. And because students panic, and that's what I want you to understand. If you look at certain shorts, students panic. They overturn and then they go on the grass to the left, and you've got to. I'm going to show you. You have to, and this is just your. They overturn, and if they overturn, the car's going to take a hard left. And what I try to do, and this is my right hand, I just try to grab the wheel with my, because I'm so used to it. Because students can lose control of the car at any time, or if they're making a right turn, they may not turn enough, and the car goes literally across the lane to hit a car. So when I'm in a car, it's my responsibility to protect everyone. And if I hit that brake too hard, the cable will snap. So what you see is real. Okay. And wear thin sole shoes. Don't wear thick shoes. Thin sole shoes allow you to feel the gas and brake. Don't wear Timberlands. I'm not against the Timberland band. Thin sole shoes. Yes, please hit that like. Please subscribe. Please look at this. Um, the personal responsibility, you owe it to yourself. And if your parents have that budget for you to take driver's ed, then save your money, cut grass, shovel snow, take care take care of some of the neighbors' kids and save your money up. It's taken me a while to get this equipment. You know, the the webcam. The Elgato Wave 3. Microphone that I have. The Rodecaster Pro 2 that's upstairs. That's $800. Um, what is the best steering technique? My instructor keeps telling me push the steering wheel. Okay, look, there's no absolute best way to turn the steering wheel. Some people do hand over hand. Some people do push pull. Some people palm the wheel. You want to do, and I'm going to go to the sack, you want to do what is comfortable for you. I have really long arms. So some people say 7, 7 and 5. Some people say 8 and 4. Some people say 9 and 3. Some people say 10 and 1. It depends on your instructor, what you feel comfortable with, what you have seen your parents do. And occasionally I get really crazy comments. There's an airbag. We know there's an airbag and we're not trying to blow off our thumbs. Okay. So you want to drive at a comfortable grip for you. It depends on how long your arms are, what type of car you're in. You don't want to have your arms straight out. You don't want to have them bent too close. You don't want to eat the steering wheel, knock out your front teeth. Okay, I'll tell you another story. Saw 2 young ladies. This was when I first started. They didn't have on their seatbelt. I drove in the morning that afternoon. Their chin was split open. I said, what happened? Oh, we were riding with our friends and we didn't have on our seatbelt. I said to myself, wow, put on your freaking seatbelt. Okay. So you, you know, find a position that's good for you. There's no absolute best way to turn the wheel. In the UK, they do hand to hand because they have to shift. Uh, what if you let the Tesla? Would you let a Tesla self drive? You're welcome. I'm hearing good and bad things about the self driving. To be real with you, okay, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share. I'm hearing. I want the Tesla because of all the technology, the Sentry mode, but I still got to do more research. Um, there's a good YouTuber. He's at over 1 million subscribers. Rich Rebuilds. He buys Teslas. People take him for him to service them. I would love to contact him. If I can get a grant, get a Tesla, take it to him, make sure it's good. Because usually, here's what you guys don't know. I drive up to 250 miles a day in the summer. Each kid drives about 20 miles, 10, 12, or 15 or 20 miles. We fill up the car twice a day. If you want to do math, that's $55. That's $60. Of course, that's with the company gas card, but that's a lot of money. So if I can get a Tesla and charge it up, and most of the time it's slow, low speed maneuvers. And then with that regen braking, that could recharge the battery, right? What's the real recall? Some of the Teslas, like the autonomous features we're not recognizing. That is so scary. And even if you do have autonomous driving features, where the computer will track the car in the lane for you, but sometimes there's dirt on the sensor or snow or ice, it's going to go off the road. I would guide, because I did some driving for automotive company that I can't mention, but we drove 2024s, 2025s, 2026s. So there are new cars coming out with all of these new driver features. But from talking to my students, you still need to know how to drive. You still need to know how to stop your vehicle. Computers don't take risks. They don't run lights. Humans do, right? With the chat GTP, that's a new thing altogether. We could be 3 years out, 5 years out, but there are big companies investing a lot of money. But that autonomous driving, the computer has a sensor in the front measuring traffic. My SRT has that. It doesn't have autonomous driving. It's called adaptive cruise control, right? So, but it's kind of delayed. If someone stops suddenly, my vehicle might not stop. Okay. This is a Grant steering wheel. When I had my race car updated, we took out the factory steering system, and it's a removable steering wheel, and the steering column actually collapses. So if I would hit the wall, the steering column would collapse so it wouldn't impale me. So this is a Grant steering wheel. And yes, automotive manufacturers, they do testing all the time. You'll see the M on the license plate, manufacturer's license plate. They're testing the range of these vehicles. But the issue is, what do we do with the batteries? All those chemicals, are we putting them back into the dump? Are we ready to rebuild those cells? There's so many unanswered questions, but it's 23. They're working on cars 3 years out, 4 years out, 5 years out, and they're testing them. They have to do durability testing. They go to the desert. They go to very cold environments. How do I know? Because some of my friends are automotive engineers, and I can't tell you exactly, but I did drive a couple. But the steering wheel. But this is a specially designed steering wheel, is smaller, and some cars have a button here. This could be for autonomous. This could be for a trans brake. This could be for boost. It just depends on how you want to build your battery. How do you want to build your system? How do you want to customize your car? Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say mental health and balance is really important. I just want to say thank you, and I hope you enjoy this. And then I'm going to come on each day live and just give you some good value. I want to say thank you. All of you, I love you. Bye.